Hi everyone, welcome to the Sugary Sweet. Today I'm going to show you how to make my fast dinner rolls. This is such a super easy recipe, especially for those that are just learning how to bake. You'll be able to find a full list of ingredients you'll need in the description box below. This video will be kind of lengthy because I just want this to be very detailed with helping you learn how to bake. So we're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour here in the bowl. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to give this a quick whisk together. Sugar helps feed the yeast, and since we're using instant yeast, I'm just going to throw it in here. If you're not sure that your instant yeast is good, I do have an upcoming video that will be all about yeast. Now I'm going to add to this 2 tablespoons of instant yeast. 2 tablespoons of sugar. Okay, now I'm going to add to this 1 cup of warm water. Your water needs to be very warm, but no hotter than 110 degrees for this. 1 beaten egg. A 1/3 cup of olive oil. Now I'm going to mix this with a wooden spoon until it pulls together as a dough. Okay, so I'm going to add to this some more flour. I'm going to add to this about a half a cup more. Let's see what happens. So this recipe does call for 3 to 4 cups of flour, but it's really all by feel also. A little bit more flour. This is part of the 1/3 cup here. Add more, not all of it, slowly. And add the rest of it. And I'm going to prepare some more flour here. Mix until you can no longer mix it with your wooden spoon. It's starting to come together a little bit, but it's still really sticky just by feel. So I'm going to add a half a cup more of flour. This is all-purpose flour that I'm using. You can use all-purpose or bread flour for this. So it's becoming difficult for me to mix it with my wooden spoon, so I'm going to start using my hand. I'm just sort of kneading it a little bit. So now we're going to knead the dough. It's very important to know about kneading your dough because kneading helps build the structure of your bread. So I got some more all-purpose flour here. Clean countertop. Sprinkle a tablespoon or so. We're going to dump this into the surface, and then we're going to knead it. So when you knead, you're just taking the top portion of the dough, pushing it downward, and then you're turning the dough, and you're doing the same thing. So if you notice the texture of the dough, this is going to change as we knead it. So we're going to do this for 10 minutes, but as it starts to feel wet or sticky like it is now, we'll do it a little bit more because I want you guys to actually be able to tell. So you see it's sticking to my counter. I don't know if you can really see that. So I'm going to add another tablespoon of flour. And then we're going to knead it. Just use the heels of your palms of your hands. So it's starting to stick to my surface again. Add more flour. If you got any dough crumbs, scrape that away and toss it aside. Starting to stick a little bit. Add a little bit more flour. Later in this series, I will show you how to do this with a stand mixer. But this is for people that don't have a mixer. And also, this is good to know anyway when you're learning how to bake. So it's starting to stick to the counter, and I'm going to add a little bit more flour. So this is why it's all by feel also. Even though the measurements are there, your environment plays a huge factor in how your bread comes out. So it's starting to stick again. A little more flour. Think about Play-Doh. It's pliable, smooth, not dry but not too sticky. Well, you want your dough to feel like Play-Doh, but just a little bit stickier. Your end product. Sticky but pliable. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here and take a picture so you guys be able to see the dough and the changes by photo as well, so you guys can get a clearer view. Okay, so that picture there shows where we're currently at with the dough. It's been about 5 minutes now that we've been kneading this dough. So just keep kneading it. The texture will begin to change, or the structure. Okay, if you see those bits here that are still on the counter, I'm going to put some more flour here, like a teaspoon. You can either change the direction of your kneading. Either way doesn't hurt. But that's just for people that are not able to see. Let's get a better view. And turn the dough. And turn the dough. Top of the dough towards the bottom. Turn. Sticking just a little bit. Just a little bit. Another teaspoon or so of flour. I know I did that incorrect the way I dusted my counter. The more you knead the dough also, you'll be able to smell the yeast too, and you'll be able to feel it. So I need just a little bit more flour. That's how I dust my surface. So it's been about 8 minutes, and the dough is starting to change. It's becoming more smooth. I'm going to stop here and take a picture, and you'll see it pop up here in the video where we're at. So, probably another 2 minutes. And because this dough doesn't require a long rise time, we're just going to let the dough rest for about 15 minutes. So the dough is easy to work with. So my dough's not sticking to the surface anymore, which is good. Stick it to my hands a little bit, but no big deal. That's the idea. Just a tad bit more flour, just a little bit. We're almost there. I can definitely feel it because the dough is just becoming more, the structure is building up more. Think about Play-Doh. It's really nice and smooth. That's what you want your dough to look like. So it's been about 10.5 minutes. So what I'm going to do, get one more light brushing here with the flour. So I want you to see the dough better, the texture. Because your dough will have a little bit of roughage from sticking on the counter. So I just sprinkled a little bit more flour so you can see that the dough was nice and smooth. Probably another minute. Let's see. Just knead all that flour in that I just added. And another way you know that it's completely kneaded, it springs back when you press it. So I'm going to brush all this off the counter. And I'm going to just drizzle just a little bit of olive oil here, like half a teaspoon. I'm just going to work the olive oil in. Makes the dough really silky. Knead this just for a minute. So just keep, so I kneaded it for about a minute or so because I wanted to work all that olive oil in. So the dough's ready now because it does spring back. So, clean bowl. More in the clean bowl. I'm going to cover this and I'm going to let this sit for about 15 minutes. I'm just going to use this little pie tin to cover the bowl. So 15 minutes, we'll be back. It's been 15 minutes. I'm going to press the air out. Look at the smooth dough. It's so nice and silky. Got a little bit of flour here. I'm going to just press some of the air out. Knead it a couple times. Just push all the air out. Nice and smooth. So I'm going to tuck the bottom here, pinch the bottom. Make sure the ball is even as you can get it. And I'm going to try to cut this into even sized pieces here. So I'm cutting this into equal sizes. Some rolls give you 24, some give you 18, some give you 20. Just really, like I said, this part is really about feel. I'm going to teach you how to do this with a scale later. And I'm just trying to make sure each size roll is the same. So I'm just grabbing the outside edges and I'm just pulling it towards the middle. Just make sure the air is pushed out and you don't have no crazy seams. So this one's about a little bit bigger, so I'm going to just pull some of that off. Try to eyeball them. Okay, so after shaping up all your rolls, just place it in the pan. This is a 9-inch round pan here. So this is just a good brush out this flour. Little tutorial that should help you guys become better bakers. And I'm going to show you the difference of doing the scale and eyeballing. So I think I'm going to just space them. So you just like ½ inch apart, probably less than ½ inch apart. Just so you get the pan full. Now I'm going to let this sit for about 10 minutes on the counter. And the rest of your dough here, if you want to bake it, you can. But I'm going to just put these into little balls. So this here, I'm going to freeze these here. So you can freeze your remaining dough on a tray like this, smaller tray of course. And once they freeze, you can just throw them inside a Ziploc bag so they won't stick together. So we'll be back when it's time to put the bread in the oven. Okay, here's a couple more things we need to do. I have an egg here. I'm going to add to this a tablespoon of honey. I'm using local, raw, and unfiltered. But you can use whatever honey you like to use. I'm going to beat the two together. Just want to beat this really good. Make sure the egg is broken down really good. I'm going to add to this a teaspoon of water. Then we're going to brush the top, the rolls down with the egg mixture. This is the egg wash, my honey egg wash. Just make sure you don't have a lot of eggs sopping all over the place on your brush. You want to try to keep this very neat. I have my oven preheated at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Just brush the tops lightly, okay? You don't want to press the air out. Really good. This helps the top brown. If you don't want to use the egg wash, you can use butter. Or you can use milk and butter mixed together. A little bit of kosher salt. Just a little bit. And just lightly sprinkle the top. A little bit of kosher salt. Not a lot. This is just to give a little bit of salt on the outside with the sweetness. So now this is going to go in a preheated 375 degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes or until the tops are golden brown. So it's like 16 minutes. So I'm going to let these cool for a little bit. But last thing I have to do to these, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Well, 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Let's leave it really minimum. And a tablespoon of honey. Just gonna mix that together with my blue pastry brush here. And it's not gonna blend completely, but you just wanna paste. Here, let me move this so you guys can see it. Yes, I got this from the Dollar Tree in case some of you guys are going to say something about it. But you know what? Dollar Tree's great. Brush the top. With honey butter. The honey olive oil. So I used to use a honey butter, but this is different. Do this while it's still hot, so that honey can seep in the biscuits. So your honey can seep in your. Make sure you do this. Make sure you brush it. Make sure you brush it down while it's still hot, so your honey can really soak in there. So I'm gonna just just gonna loosen it. Sometimes the egg wash makes the edges stick to the pan, but otherwise it shouldn't stick if you did everything correctly. Got a wire rack here. Oh my god, they smell so good. So I'm gonna pull it apart. So I'm gonna pull this apart so you can see the inside. Look at the crumb. Beautiful. I'm gonna taste it. I'm gonna taste the top. That's what has the kosher salt. It's so soft, flavorful. You get a little bit of saltiness at the top and sweetness from the honey glaze that we put on there. It's really delicious. So that's how you make these fast. So that's how you make these fast dinner rolls. And these are honey olive oil rolls with salted kosher salt. This is my honey olive oil salted top dinner rolls. I hope you guys enjoyed this demonstration. Please do not forget to rate, give me a comment if you have any, and also please subscribe. And remember, live and be well. Let's do all we can to make the world a little bit sweeter on Sugary Sweet. Thank you for watching.